Prepare to get gas, because it's time for the Week in Gear. If you like budget multi-effects pedals, this could be the week for you. And if you're a die-hard Ibanez fan, then do I have something very special coming for you. And it's not what you think it is, but it's probably also that. Now, let's kick off this week's most exciting guitar releases with something new from Cornerstone. Italian boutique makers Cornerstone have just updated their antique classic drive pedal to version 3. Now, when I was researching this, I honestly was left a little bit confused because Cornerstone have really focused on letting us know that there are 61 variations of knobs, faceplates, and colors. And although there are many sound demos, they don't really talk about what the pedal sounds like. I really enjoyed the sounds and the playing, so it's no surprise to find out that the antique classic drive is their modern take on a tube screamer. Wait! Before you skip to the next chapter, it's not just a tube screamer. Cornerstone say that it can replace up to 3 pedals on your board. The antique classic drive version 3 features a hot gain mode, which activates a boost before the overdrive section, but it also has a hot volume, which activates a boost after the overdrive section, which makes it quite versatile, not your regular tube screamer. And you can also switch between normal and hot mode with an external latching foot switch. It does seem that Cornerstone have put a lot of thought into their new range of aesthetics, but I do find it pretty weird that they focus so much on what the pedal looks like rather than what it sounds like, because it does actually sound superb. But for €299, it kind of has to. You know, if there's one thing that I hate about guitars, is that when you buy one, they usually come completely built and ready to play. Where's the fun in that? Well, Harley Benton are here to the rescue with 3 new Harley Benton guitar kits: the Extreme 76, the Extreme 84, and the Victory, clearly based on the Gibson Flying V and Gibson Explorer, with albeit minute changes in the design. Harley Benton offer these guitars as fully finished guitars for a low price already, so it's again no surprise that these kits are coming in pretty cheaply. The Extreme 76 is going to cost you €128. The Victory is also €128, and the Extreme 84 is €158. And I think that's probably because it's got some more stuff going on in the ways of active pickups and probably a battery compartment. But regardless of which kit you buy, each kit comes with everything you need to build the guitar, except the tools, of course. But if you have a couple of screwdrivers and a hammer and maybe a multi-tool, you should be ready to go. Good news if you're scared of soldering irons, because the electrics are all plug and play. So you don't need a soldering iron at all. That makes it easier, but it does also take some fun out of it. But I see why Harley Benton have done this. All the bodies are pre-sealed, so they're ready to accept a spray paint. But if you want to sort of stain them or anything, you probably have to sand it back first. Not probably, you will have to sand it back first. And don't expect mahogany or rosewood at this price, because of course, well, I don't say it's not possible. It's not profitable, that's for sure. Anyway, the 2 extremes are a 𝗬𝗎𝗪, extremes as in the Extreme 76 and 84, not the extremes of a range. Back focus, Andy. The 2 extremes, the 76 and the 84, are a 𝗬𝗎𝗪 wood, and the Victory is basswood, 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 and all the fretboards are rosacer, rosacer. Guitar kits are a great way to learn about the instrument, and if you've never taken something apart before, it's great fun to start from the ground up, because finding out more about this instrument we all love only lends to more fun, I would assume. And if you've never attempted building a custom guitar, then I think the Harley Benton kits would be a great starting point. Actually, for the first time ever on my show, you should be able to see links to the products on screen right now. YouTube have done that somehow, and you don't need to go to the first comment or to the video description to get the link and the more information and stuff. But you can also do that if for some reason this whole product linking thing isn't working, or if YouTube has changed this without letting us know. But now it's time to talk about this week's sponsor,
Raid Shadow Legends.
Well, not really. Could you imagine? If I promise you this, if I ever do a video sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends that isn't a joke, I will end the channel then and there. That will be the last video I ever do. And due to me being quite picky about who I let sponsor this show, and all of our regular sponsors being on holiday, we don't have an official sponsor this week. But whilst those regular sponsors are sunning themselves and drinking sangria, Ibanez Germany have given me something very special to give to you. This is Ibanez, The Untold Story. It's a book from the mid-2000s that currently fetches prices north of $120 on eBay and Reverb, but Hoshino USA found some leftover copies somewhere. They're extremely limited edition, and they're currently going for $40 in the US or just under 65 euros in Europe. But you can have one for absolutely free by clicking the link in the video description and signing up to my mailing list. That's the deal. I will warn you, this book is quite dangerous because when I got my copy, I had to have my kids hide it from me so I get some work done. It is absolutely fascinating, and there's some beautiful pictures in there. Look at that one. It's a really interesting read for any guitar player, plus you get this little Ibanez keyring as well. So if you want to win that, go and click the link in the video description now. And don't ever download Raid Shadow Legends. Blah. Ah, what a lovely giveaway section. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the part where I say that if you're enjoying this weekly show, consider that subscribe button and the thumbs up or thumbs down so that more people get to see it in the future. Thank you! The Mooer GE 200 Pro and Pro Li are the upgraded versions of the GE 200, unsurprisingly, and a budget-friendly alternative to their flagship GE 1000. Among the very long list of features, it has 286 effects modules and models, there's a groove station with a drum machine and a 60-second looper, there's an onboard tuner, it's got a 3.5-inch color LCD screen, there are 3 foot switches for patch selection and 2 foot switches for back up and back down selection. I enjoyed doing that then. There's an effects loop, it's got MIDI in and out, there's Bluetooth, and it's an audio interface, so it's basically got a load of stuff in it. And price-wise, you're looking at around 369 notes for the 200 Pro and 449 notes for the 200 Pro Li. The major difference between the two is that the Pro Li has a built-in lithium battery, which is where the Li comes from. And also, for some reason, I can't figure out why, the Pro Li has the Starry Night paintwork finish. I see no rhyme or reason to have that, but I do like it. The sound samples I've heard are really only concentrating on high gain tones, and frankly, it sounds like every other modeler I've heard lately. That's not a bad thing, it just doesn't jump out as being wow. So I don't really know how I feel about the sounds, but it's got great functionality and it's got great connectivity. It's good to use, probably. I like the buttons on there that, you know, you have to do some menu diving, but there are also some buttons that allow you to quickly select stuff. And I love that on a multi-effects unit. So yeah, it seems to be easy to control, but not to say. However, and it's quite a big however, there does seem to be an issue with multi-effects from Mooer at the moment because multiple users have reported ongoing bugs with the previous GE 200 and they're not yet fixed. And this is a big thing with digital gear. And I also know that it's not just Mooer who are guilty of this, about updating firmware and then leaving a unit that is not reliable and crashing and having issues. But the thing is, updating firmware and keeping products modern and up to date takes time and money. And some of the more budget-oriented companies tend to just want to move on to the next product. Just because it works today doesn't mean that it's going to work tomorrow after the latest update that comes with new free stuff. It also could come with problems. And if the company is not there to support it, you could have a brick on your hands, or in this case, at your feet. If anyone has a Mooer GE 200 and has any problems that is related to this, please chime in the comments section. Staying with digital multi-effects pedals, Zoom want you to replace your amps with the new MS80IR+, and it's only going to cost you about 180 notes to do it. This new multi-stomp has 23 guitar amp and cabinet models, 5 studio reverbs, and 12 additional effects, including noise gates, EQs, and delays. A's. You can create and save up to 80 patches, it's stereo in and out, and it has an onboard tuner. It really does seem like this fairly budget pedal can do a lot and take very little space on your pedal board when doing it. The sound samples from Zoom are really convincing. I really enjoyed their Fender Twin and their Marshall, was it 59, I think? Anyway, it was good. And with Zoom's recent updates to these multi-stomp pedals, I think this deserves to be on anyone's list of very convenient pedals to own. But wait, the MS-80 Plus also comes with USB-C, which I love so much because it allows you to do stuff like load IRs, control it with MIDI, or do some deep editing via the Guitar Lab app for iOS, and use the pedal as an audio interface. It's a lot of stuff for $180. Also, because it's stereo, you can have one side of the out with an IR, and that goes to the PA, for example, and then one side without an IR, which can go to your power section of your amp. Phenomenal. All in all, this is a very exciting compact solution, and the only potential downside I can see is that glaring Game Boy style screen, which Zoom seem to be completely owning because it's on all of their new multi-stomps. I like it, and it does the job it needs to do, but also I find it ugly as well. But maybe I'm just spoiled by some screens on the units today, or smartphones and things like that. And did I mention that it also runs on 2 AA batteries? That is convenience in a tiny little package. Hopefully I'll get one in the studio at some point, or I'll get to play one somewhere so I can see if it's as convincing to the player as it was to me, the listener.
Andy's Pick of the Week.
This week, a whole new load of Ibanez products were announced, including the Tim Henson guitar pick and strap, new additions to the very cool Quest series, and Andy Timmons' signature ATZ. But my pick of the week this week is, of course, the Ibanez FRM 350 BK Paul Gilbert signature Fireman. Rawr. As a guitar reviewer, I try to stay as impartial as possible, but there is something about the Ibanez Fireman and the Iceman that just makes me feel all wobbly in my nether regions.
What did he say?
And this FRM 350 BK has to be the classiest Fireman I've ever seen. Fireman? Fireman? You choose. I'll stop quite literally drooling for a moment and I'll give you the specs. The Ibanez FRM 350 BK has an Akume neck set into an Akume body finished in gloss polyurethane black. The ebony fretboard is 24 3/4 inch scale, which is Gibson scale, and it's got acrylic and abalone block inlays. Damn. It's dual humbucker on this one with a Damasio DP190F in the neck and a DP191F in the bridge, which to me is going to stand for Deadpool. And with those pickups, it means it's going to have a more classic tone than high gain modern. And the hardware being gold, it comes strung with 10 to 46. I can barely focus because I'm thinking about it in my head. I've even got a Fireman behind me right now. This is the previous one, the FRM 350 PR. So I'm going to hold that for a little bit just to pretend that it's the black one, even though I dig this hard. If that's not enough, by the way, the Fireman FRM 350 BK comes with a gig bag. Actually, as I've got this, the price is a little higher on the new one compared to this, which means I guess that Ibanez is finally catching up to other brands and the new pricing structure. But I really hope that these prices don't go up much more, because I think this one is pretty niche, should we say? You know, triple mini humbuckers and purple, but this black one with gold hardware could appeal to even the casual player, and it's extremely classy. This Fireman version of a Gibson Les Paul Custom. That's what it is, which is slightly unfair to Ibanez, but that's how I see it. I love this guitar too. Also, a little birdie told me that I might be getting one of the FRM 350 BKs into the studio to review and put it up against this one, so I expect that to come fairly soon. But I can tell you that there's going to have to be something very wrong with that Ibanez FRM 350 BK for me not to love it. It's going to be a fairly biased review because I haven't even played it and I already think it's brilliant. It's got a lot to live up to at the very least. If it doesn't make it, you'll know. I'm going to put this away, and while I do that, let's just look at the FRM 350 BK for a minute. Come on. Look at it. Look at it. Really look at it. Now stop looking at it. Now look at it again. I know. Thank you to the wonderful people that support this show on Patreon. I could not do it without them. Their names are on screen now. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. And also, I couldn't do it without this lot either. They are the lovely ones showing their support right here on YouTube with their names coming up on the screen and being all big and digital. I fell on my chair! If you want to show your support for the channel, then just by watching and clicking the like button and leaving a comment is enough for me. However, if you want to go the extra mile and help the show be made, then click the join button right here on YouTube or visit my Patreon link in the video description. And here's a special thanks to the people right at the top tier. Josh Tamberg, Sarang Narayan, Southern Panda 33, Andrew Morgan, Dustin Bonney, Gary O'Neill, Doug Paget, Alinta Boston, Boom Shakalaka, Dirk. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, Buzzle, Michael Lerner, Buddha Blue, 𝗬𝗙𝗎𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 April Kurtz, Johnny McBadminton, and Rob in Kelly. How's it at Elysia this week? I've been to the gym and maybe my lungs have expanded by 33%. Who knows? Also, Buzzle, thanks very much for shortening it. That's probably what it was, actually. Buzzle shortened his name and to take out the vowels. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you. In fact, thank you to all the top tier members. Remember, you don't need any of this gear to sound good, but who am I to decide that for you? All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. It really did hurt my foot.